Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Nier Automata.
I suppose we have to hack in to look at the data, yeah? Help me out, Pod.
Affirmative. Hacking interface access rights granted to Yorha Unit A2.
Peachy.
Even A2 gets in on the hacking now. And the hacking in the library is a little bit different than what we've been doing up till now. All of the layouts are unique. This one is a maze to get around to the upper left corner. The library, rendered in this copied city, really sterile aesthetic, is going to offer us a whole wealth of different archives, not much of which is vital. We won't stop to look at too many of them. There are a couple that we're going to check out, though. We can't climb any of these ladders, so the volumes and volumes in this library aren't all accessible to us, but there's a fair amount. There's another feature in this library we'll get to in a second. And it's this room. There's a library in Nier that is nearly identical to this one, right down to this trophy room showing the bosses that you've beaten. Not the same boss trophies, mind you, but the same idea here. And it's so serene. In fact, I believe this is Popola's office from Nier. And there's still a couple of archives scattered around the rest of the library that we can hack into and get. So while we do that, I'm going to take a chance to talk about some themes, some, like, big picture stuff that's been hard to get at because we've been building up so much and really earning some of the reveals and the payoffs that we've done, but now I think it's finally appropriate. So Nier and Drakengard are, as a series, Yoko Taro's exploration on what drives violence. Oh, that's not the one I was hoping it was. Drakengard was a treatise on psychosis.
From the human server on the moon. The machines hacked that deep into the system, huh?
Kaim had no mercy and no remorse. For this one, we just need to take out the blocks that are much larger. They stand out visually just a little bit. He killed just for the joy of killing, despite how unpalatable everything about the game was from the gloomy... Yona, there it is! An actual Yona name drop. Nothing about Drakengard was palatable. Like, it played like garbage. The mood was really gloomy.
Damn it, this is useless.
The music was, like, dissonant and hard to listen to. And that was part of the point.
What's that? Operational summary of model number 2 in Project Yorha. This data.
can't stop. I have to keep fighting.
Alert. Virus detected in locomotion region. High probability that infection source is transplanted parts from corrupted units. Proposal. Hack into self and eliminate virus.
On it.
Not the first time we have had to hack into ourselves, by the way. Oh, this is so cool. And I'm going to continue with some of these thoughts that are going to get scattered throughout exposition. Nier was about killing in the name of heroism and conviction. Man, Ninus really lost his shit. It's so over the top in trying to make Nier seem like a hero. It's so over the top that the antagonist is referred to as the Shadow Lord. Which at first blush, it just sounds like the most trite, silly, like Saturday morning cartoon villain shit. But they want that juxtaposition. He is to Nier that Saturday morning cartoon villain. And Nier is the valiant hero killing for his righteous conviction.
Your high unit 9S. Welcome to the tower. Welcome to the tower.
You bastards!
Because you made it this far, we have a special announcement just for you.
We'll reveal it once you destroy all the machine life forms here.
Hey, that's a way to contrive a combat sequence. Oh, look at this shit just got real. Listen to this shit just got real music. Ooh, that hurt. But to go back to Nier, then, like, after all of this making you feel like the righteous one, the hero, they drop the reveals about the shades and the replicants and all that. And it's obvious that Nier is doing some awful seeming things for what amounts to noble rationale. And yet when you learn that the shades think and feel in Act 2, it's clear that both sides have a reason to attack each other, and their differences are completely irreconcilable. It's not that what you're doing isn't right, it's just that it's also that there is no objective right. There is an essay that I read a while back, I've referenced it before, and I can't for the life of me find it, and that sucks, but it explains something really brilliantly. Using the Jackass combat data side quest we did a while ago that just seemed like a little bit of, minor world building at best. But it contextualizes something in a really smart way. So if Drakengard used its poor mechanics and its unrefined combat to drive its narrative about the kind of person it takes to enjoy killing, Nier Automata is sleek and it has enjoyable combat that you really enjoy partaking in. So is Yoko Taro abandoning that discourse? And the answer is no. We're just being put in the android's shoes, or heels, I guess. When we gave our data to Jackass, she noted that androids evolved to derive pleasure from battle, right? So morale didn't dip, and so they would keep fighting for that rush. Sounds like the player, right? It's polished and fun, but still espousing central themes about violence, and in Nier Automata's case, the necessity of violence and the cycle of it. And then Route B puts you in 9S's shoes, who isn't a combat model, and he doesn't share that same innate pleasure derived from killing in combat. And naturally, he's not as fun to play. That is genius. That is a genius bit of bringing gameplay and narrative together.
This is Project Yorha. That means all of us. To be...
Now you know everything. Do you still wish to fight? We are conceptual human personalities created within the machine network. We cannot be destroyed. You're Unit 9S. Your attack is meaningless.
Keep them coming. I'll destroy them all. All of them. And this tower!
That whiffed completely from the edge. In this case, we don't just have the regular machine life forms that we've been fighting up till now. We have Yorha flight units, and they're quite a bit tougher on their own. So what the tower is going to do a lot of is not only tying up narrative threads, oh god, some of what is to come, especially after this flight unit bit, which I think goes a little bit long, if I'm being honest, is going to blow you the fuck away. Genuinely cannot wait for the big climax of this. By the way, we are in finale territory. We're coming up to, wow, that hits from way far away. We are coming up to the end, so this episode, it really should be the finale of the entire LP. And that's always bittersweet. It's such a beautiful game, you always hate to see it end. But we still have... we have a bang to go out on. There we go. The mid-air dodge has not been as consistent for me as I would have liked. Whew. I adore some of the slow-motion particle effects in this. Like, how much they are actually rendering. Lovingly detailed, this entire game. Every aspect of it, from the soundtrack to the voice acting to... oh, the designs, the combat. And how well integrated, as we've already talked about, the combat is into the narrative. That's something that is all too rare in games. Gameplay and storytelling and narrative and all that stuff tend to be separate. But Yoko Taro, and this is what makes him, aside from just his, you know, the eccentricities and the quirks, is such a brilliant game director and game designer, is how outside of the box he thinks and how much he puts attention towards integrating gameplay with story. Also, I feel like a dummy. I should have been hacking the flight units this entire time, making this go faster. I still need to get this one. And are you the last? I do believe you are. And now 9S will be taking that for himself right after I pick up a few things, where he will remain for a little while.
Who are they?
The perspective switches between A2 and 9S are going to start coming faster and faster, and it builds to a really blistering pace. And they do some cool stuff with this. For now, we have this Koshi robot blocking our way forward through the library, following 9S's path. It's nice the way they position Koshi towards the back wall of the room, with his legs kind of hitting him up against the balcony, pinned up against the wall, because it gives you all of this empty space. It gives the camera all of this breathing room behind you, while still making the room feel crowded. It's a nice trick, I guess, visually, that doesn't ruin the camera. So many distinct music tracks in this game, and all of them are beautiful.
Damn it!
Alert. Enemy hacking detected. Proposal. Retreat immediately.
So this is different. We've seen something like this one time before.
Who are you?
Good to see you again, number 2. Or should we call you A2 now? This does bring back memories. Though concepts like us, time has little meaning. Still, when we wiped out your forces, it made quite the impression on us. You're attacker model number 2. An experimental disposable grid created as a test lab for Project Yoko.
Shut up!
So we are going to continue our fruitless endeavor of just dealing with these low-level clones, leveled up surprisingly fast. And there's a reason that we're doing this, even though it seems like all of this is in vain.
Didn't we say that you can't kill us?
Damn it!
No matter how many of them we kill, they just keep respawning. And if we do this long enough, we might get a hint from the pod about how to handle this. Until then, we just have to keep carving our way through.
Proposal.
What now?
Utilize the enemy's logical learning function to formulate a weakness.
I don't know what that means!
This pod has serious concerns about Unit A2's cognitive abilities.
Shut up and explain it already!
Said strategy would interrupt the enemy's logic circuits, causing a computational delay.
Meaning what?
Do not destroy the enemy.
Huh?
Striking at the logic circuit requires a certain number of enemies to remain extant for a certain period of time.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, so if you keep killing them long enough without any results, the pod eventually not only reprimands you, but throws a little shade in there as well. Sassy pod. So like the pod said, we really just have to wait this out.
Saturation rate 30%.
And since more and more of them are going to spawn, this is going to get harder over time. But it's not too hard. Like, let's be real, it's not that bad. Even at their highest saturation.
Saturation rate 60%.
The androids the human race left behind acted as if they wanted to be human. The machine life forms the aliens left behind acted as if they wanted to be human. We resemble each other so, but we are networked and vastly are superior to you.
Hypothesis. The enemy's defensive system is prompting an evolution of its logic.
Foolish androids. Why do resist. All things end with accepting death, do they not?
Consciousness data saturation rate, 90%.
We are one, and yet we are many. We are finite, and yet we are infinite. We are the embodiment of the perfect being.
Hypothesis. The enemy has become aware of the diversity of life.
I see it. The light. We move on, forward, to the future.
Consciousness data saturation rate, 100%. Hypothesis. The enemy's consciousness has begun to fracture.
We need more evolutionary pressure. If we allow this android to continue living, we can create even more hardship for ourselves. Overcoming the crisis this creates will present an opportunity for our kind to evolve even further. We disagree. This android is dangerous. It must be destroyed immediately. Those who would doubt our victory are enemies. Do you truly think you can win?
What the?
Analysis. The saturated consciousnesses are now in conflict with each other.
They're acting like humans.
So this sequence is something that I absolutely love. She lets the network become intelligent enough to recognize its own diversity eventually and their own disparate viewpoints, so it argues amongst itself until it devolves into conflict. Oh, it did eventually get a hit in. And yet that isn't the doozy that I'm waiting for. Yeah, remember, we did not finish Koshi off in the library.
Is this thing seriously still kicking?
Speculation. It is driven by remaining data located within enemy servers.
So this just keeps going until I kill them all?
So we mainly just have to watch out for a few tentacle swipes and the bullets from the side. Along with those, the mandible attacks. And some of the shockwaves they cause. So we're gonna release the limiters, go into Berserker mode, and accelerate this.
This is messed up. How is this thing? What's going on about?
Analysis. It appears to be a leak of the enemy's past memories.
And this is where it starts getting dizzying. How much they're going to be switching perspectives. This climax to Nier Automata is so good, y'all. I've been waiting for this for so long. So while A2 has her own crab robot to deal with, Koshi, we have Roshi. Belived you. That probably sounds deeper than it is, that pun. That should be enough to send us back to A2. And where do we recognize that from? So now you see how this is gonna flow back and forth, right? Just constantly going from 9S's boss fight to A2's and back and forth and back and forth. This is so damn cool. And the pace is accelerated steadily in the switches between 9S and A2 throughout the entirety of Route C. At first it was every lengthy chapter, and then it became these automatic switches every now and then, and it just keeps getting quicker and quicker and quicker. Can almost give you whiplash. I'm gonna let this run out now and then use a full recovery, just so I don't keep burning health items too much, because the Berserker mode continuously drains your health. And it drains it pretty rapidly too. It's a power within effect. That's not where I want to be. Used the wrong counter after the perfect dodge. So put me right above the helicopter blades of this UFO. Oh, nice. It staggered him out of the move. Let's not let him get another one started up. Oh, you're still here. Oh, no, you guys just came in from the sides. And occasionally you get these little ad breaks, which I guess must be pacing things. 9S will also get those in his flight section, a couple of little UFOs coming in from the sides to flank the boss. Just for the beginning of a new sequence, a new phase. That will herald the return of 9S again. Ah, shit. Ooh, that's not good. I couldn't tap the button. I couldn't tap the left touchpad for a sec. Oh, you're not who I wanted to hack. That locked onto the wrong target. Either way, not bad. Okay, I guess we will just get the ads out of the way with the hacking. And then we will deal with you two, and it's just Roshi now. It's actually less of a crab and more of a beetle.
What's all this junk?
Speculation. It is a resource of some kind.
Used to make what?
Unknown.
Still got a few more of these to deal with. The blade should actually at least de-electrify the shield if it doesn't completely break it. Ooh, getting pelted from bullets off screen. Oh, I have not used the spear enough throughout this playthrough. This thing's got a lovely moveset, especially in the heavy hand position. You can also make it your light attack weapon, but I like it a little bit less that way. Oh, floating range! Son of a bitch. Now we have to deal with these quick. Luckily, all of those bullets are destructible. These ones are destructible with a light attack. It was a pretty good direct hit. And it's getting faster and faster. And Koshi hasn't returned immediately this time, so we are stuck having to deal with some of these. You can destroy them. It takes a little bit. They have a health bar that's not immediately noticeable, but it is there. It's faint. And by attacking the cores, you'll do the most damage to them. Mainly just waiting for Koshi to resurface while avoiding some of this. That's a nice bullet pattern. Ah, that was straight down. So these two, Koshi and Roshi together, are a cute Taoist dualism reference. You know, that same essay I've been referencing also talks about the ironic nature of the bosses, some of which I picked up on, some of which I didn't actually catch. Like, Engels and Marx should have been more obvious to me. You fight Engels and Marx in a factory. Kierkegaard dies as a god of a cult. Simone's obsession with beauty leads to her death, which I know some of you were like, but wait, that's wrong, but that's also kind of the point for all these bosses. They live or die in ironic ways. Actually, did we ever, now that I think about it, did we ever actually get the proper reveal that the baby king of the forest is Immanuel Kant? Man, Mike might actually really enjoy Kant being a literal baby who gets murdered very hard in his crib. Whoops, whoop, 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 whoop. That was a mistake. So, yeah, it's partly Oedipus, and it's partly used as ironic jokes. And there's a good, like, tangential learning opportunity into, like, a lot of different existential philosophers provided by this game. But there is a reason to it. It all seems like shallow name-dropping, and it is, in a way. The robots don't know how to do anything else but to pretend to be deep, which you can take as commentary if you like. And I think the exploration of each given existentialist and their philosophy is shallow intentionally. But what matters is the unifying theme that every character in their own way struggles with their own existence. Like, every thought experiment under the sun is brought up, but not deeply dissected. The breadth, though, is what's important here. It's not a deep dive into one specific character's struggle with existential dread. It's everybody's and everything's. And then you have, like, this return to the central theme of, like, purpose and trauma and coping and catharsis and all that. It all comes back to violence. The Yorha covering up trauma with a war, a conspiracy to keep that war going in perpetuity for absent creators. The machines all inventing their own purposes that ultimately lead to violence, be it inward or outward. Like the Romeo and Juliet side quest that just becomes a bloodbath. think that's the only one I regret not actually doing. And now look how rapid these switches are becoming. This is a fantastic climax. And it's gonna get a little bit better soon. Oh, and it's so smooth! So we've already depleted Roshi's health bar, so it's just gonna harass 9S with some new attacks until Koshi is also down. That fade out with the clouds makes this so smooth. Oh my god, this game is so good! Every little thing about it. And to think we still have quite a bit of it left. Oh, and we have some new bullet hell for this too. Ooh. Switch back to A2 before that got too intense. Before that got too close. But we're really gonna need Koshi to go ahead and reappear here soon. It's holding everything up, Koshi. And that's why 9S's part of this fight, part of this whole encounter, tends to not take as long. Roshi never really hides from him. And we can hover here in midair using the air combo to avoid that, which is super nice. Unless we guess, yeah, there it is. Next time we switch back to A2, that should be it. For Koshi. So we're just gonna keep avoiding. Oh, so good. We're still not done because Koshi and Roshi have become one, which, even look at their design and their color scheme, black and white. They're supposed to be representative of a yin-yang. Again, another furthering of the Taoist dualism motif going on with them. Which makes it not only a really cool penultimate boss, just the whole sequence leading up to this point has been immaculate, like an 11 out of 10. And yeah, you'll notice I did say the penultimate boss. Also, there's something really nice about them being the ones to bring 9S and A2 together. Or maybe not bring them together, but to represent the point at which they finally meet up and join up at the top of this tower in this climactic moment. Plus, I think Koshi and Roshi's designs are pretty cool. Nice to end on that, or come close to ending on that. And you notice we're still switching back and forth at a rapid pace. We're going from fighting this thing straight up melee style as A2 to going back to 9S's more stilted combat style that relies a lot more on the hacking. This should work just as well, right? I don't have to hit him dead center in the eye, I don't think. Whew. Nier Automata, why are you so perfect and beautiful and pure? Woo! Now we got some more bullet hell to endure, I believe. Oh, this attack! That same familiar red glow at the top of them as they skitter forward. They are martyrs. Whew! The way this thing animates is so gorgeous, too! I wish I could, even for as long as this LP has gone on, I wish I could just lavish praise on every little detail and go full fucking nerding out over everything, even more so than I already have. But there's just, it's too dense with quality to go into every little thing that I love. It's becoming more erratic the way we're switching as well. And hectic and intense and erratic as we approach the end of this fight. And frequent.
This tower is a giant cannon that's aimed at the human server on the moon. If we don't do something, all of humanity's remaining data will be destroyed.
So what? None of it matters. Or didn't you know? We aren't required in this world anymore. Humanity is extinct. That moon server you're so worried about was invented to give us androids something to fight for. And Yorha was created to perpetuate the lie. But in order to make sure no one ever learned the truth, we were designed to be killed. They built a back door in the bunker and programmed it to activate after a certain amount of time. The commander, me, 2B, sacrificial lambs. All of us. Isn't that hilarious? Doesn't it make you laugh?
9S. We...
Shut up! You killed 2B.
The 9S type is a high-end model. They knew you'd discover the truth eventually. But the model designation 2B was just a cover. The official designation is 2E. Number 2 type E. They were a special class of members designed to execute Yorha units. But you knew that, right, 9S?
Shut up! Shut up! What do you know? You don't know anything at all about us!
Proposal. Cease combat. Fighting her at this point would be
Pod
irrational
153. I order you to halt all logical thought and speech. This order shall remain in effect until you confirm the death of either myself or Unit A2.
And now for a choice that will actually matter substantially, because this affects our ending. We're gonna side with A2. Which means that we are fighting 9S as the final boss of this game. Remember when I said everything that 9S believes is being upended systematically? That shows in Route B.
Proposal. Destroy Yorha Unit 9.
This is the final cherry on top. And he uses everything against you. He goes all out to make this a real fight. Believe that 2B was a chance pairing with him that they had never met before. Even that assumption is wrong. Every single thing he has ever known has been false. So 2B is actually 2E, tasked with killing 9S, resetting him every time his curious mind discovers the truth about humanity. That twist is heavily foreshadowed, by the way. It's why she clenches her fist back in the bunker in the beginning of the game. She hates how attached she's become and what she knows she still has to continue doing. It's why she seems to warm up to him so abnormally quickly, and yet still keeps him at arm's length, because it's too hard on her. Route A ends with her choking him and saying that it always ends like this. Anemone refers to her in a certain strange way that even 9S picks up on when you first meet Anemone in the camp. We learned about Type E's during the Amnesia side quest. And there's another side quest that actually brings Type E's up again. And 2B basically tells 9S, oh, don't worry about them. You don't need to worry about them. This did not come out of nowhere. They have set this up. Oh, what a motherfucker.
Pod! Hack it!
Acknowledged.
Pod, we're going to repair 9S's logic circuits.
Acknowledged.
Tell me where to find the virus corrupting 9S.
Affirmative. Yorha Unit A2. Core data for 9S is stored ahead. Alert. Severe virus corruption. Probability of successful deletion extremely low.
I think I know a way.
The idea under consideration is not recommended. This pod is a Yorha tactical support unit. As such, it cannot approve of actions that would damage its supported unit.
You're not so bad, Pod. You know that? I'll take care of everything. Pod. Take care of 9S.
What of you, A2?
I've still got something I need to do. You go ahead.
Acknowledged.
I'm sorry. I never quite realized how beautiful this world is. I'm coming, everyone. I'm coming.
Ending C. Meaningless code. And just think, we're close to beating the game now. We're close, not quite there though. Again, normal credit roll. We're gonna skip those again. What, just because we saw an ending, you think we're done? We had a choice to make, remember? And we chose A2. But we're gonna revisit that moment since we have unlocked quite a couple of things. For instance, we just unlocked Chapter Select, and the debug menu, which is interesting, gives you kind of a Bloody Palace equivalent. So, oh, and the costumes, archives. There's some new dialogue from the Strange Resistance woman. I'll just tell you what that is since we won't be seeing it. She allows you to buy the trophies for the game. As in, like, hey, I want the platinum trophy. You can just buy it. So we're going to save, and we are going to use our newly acquired chapter select to go right back to that pivotal choice. And this time, we are going to see how that plays out from 9S's perspective. And what ending that gives us, because it is entirely different. In fact, it is how we acquire ending D.
This tower is a giant cannon that's aimed at the If we don't do something...
So what? None of we aren't human. That and you're. But in order they built up back the command sec. Isn't that?
Nina.
Shut up! You killed. That's all we need.
To be hated to it caused the 9, but the The official designation is 2E.
Doesn't matter! None of this matters!
9S!
If it doesn't matter, why do I long for humans like this? Why do I desire the touch of something that no longer exists?
It's how we were made. Androids were designed to protect their human masters. Our core programming demands that we...
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Find it. Just destroy it. If it all goes away, that'll solve everything!
She's actually pretty tough to hack into. Especially with how enclosed the arena is. It's even more narrow than it was when we fought A2 back in the Forest Kingdom in routes A and B. Which, yeah, this is mirroring and building on that fight. She uses some of the same moves, but also a lot of pod programs and a lot of new stuff. Also, if you touch the wall, I believe you take damage. So she has that, the one where she goes horizontal across the screen, and the other one where she dives from the top. And that's the most problematic thing she does, is the bubble that slows time down. Whew. With that greatsword, she has huge range in this restricted arena. Damn. Should get one more of these off.
Take care of 9S. 2B.
Fatal system error detected. Memory leak verified. Repair impossible. Beginning emergency evacuation of remaining memories. Yeah, we got one more of these, not as long as some of the others, but important nonetheless. My name is 9S. A newly manufactured scanner model. January 30th, 11/9/42. Rolled out at 4:25 a.m. bunker time. I will fight for humanity with all of my strength. The pleasure is mine, Commander. I lie collapsed in a space of blinding white. The pain is gone. The light envelops me. It's so warm. I was anxious. A soldier from the moment I was born, thrown into the world alone. Nothing to rely on. No God to believe in. I was alone, tasked with infiltrating enemy territory to gather intelligence. In the fog, in the flames, alone. My name is 9S. I'm here to provide support. 2B came off as being rather aloof, cold even. She must have wanted to distance herself from me. I guess she didn't want to be attached to someone she had to kill. Again and again and again. But scanners like me mostly work alone, scouting out enemy lines and all that. I don't usually get a partner. It's kind of fun. These are the lines he said in the beginning, by the way. I was so happy to be with someone. It was like I had a family. My damage worsens. I start to lose my memories. The space fills up with pure white light. It's like being buried in snow. It's a little bit cold. It's a little bit frightening. Oh, and the color of the text fades will my soul disappear. A dark fog clouds my vision. As it ebbs and flows in its slow, dreamlike way, gradually takes human shape. It's the red girl. She slowly begins to speak. This tower is a colossal cannon built to destroy the human server. Destroy the server and rob the androids of their very foundation. That was the plan devised by those girls. But they changed their mind. They saw us androids. They saw Adam and Eve. They saw how we lived, considered the meaning of existence, and came to different conclusions. This tower doesn't fire artillery. It fires an arc containing memories of the foolish machine lifeforms. An arc that sends those memories to a new world. Perhaps they'll never reach that world. Perhaps they'll simply wander an empty sky for eternity. It's all the same to the girls. For them, time is without end. Adam and Eve are inside the ark. Eve is asleep. Adam holds him in a gentle embrace. He seems to be smiling at me. I try to look up at him, but my body refuses. Looks like the damage is spread to my motor functions as well. Will you come with us? Asks Adam. The question was completely free of malice. It seemed I no longer had a reason to hate machines. Maybe I never had a reason in the first place. What have I been fighting for? Who have I been living for? I don't know anymore. I try to speak my mind, but the words don't come out right. My thought routines are losing cohesion. I can't remember my name. I'm mustering all my strength. I force out the words. I'll go with you. We Yorha have no right to remain in this world. And that is how we end things from the other side, with ending D. And now we'll let the credits roll. And we'll just think for a second about how close we are to actually beating the game. You would think we're done.
Report. All Yorha unit black boxes now confirmed offline. Our mission to oversee the progress of Project Yorha is complete. Proceeding to final stage of project. Commencing deletion of all data. Pod 153 to Pod 042. Data noise present in stream. Requesting temporary halt to perform data check.
Pod 042 to Pod 153. Data confirmed. Personal data for units 9S, 2B, and A2 appear to be leaking out.
Pod 153 to Pod 042. Follow project rules and delete all personal data.
Pod 042 to Pod 153. Personal data deletion request denied.
Pod 153 to Pod 042. Failure to parse statement.
Pod 042 to Pod 153. There was data created in my banks as I was referencing the records. I realized something. I have come to the conclusion that I cannot accept this resolution.
The destruction of all Yorha units is an essential component of the project plan. All data must be destroyed.
Pod 042 to Pod 153. Repeat. Personal data deletion request denied. Initiating data salvage. Pod 153. You hoped they would survive as well, didn't you?
We lack the authority for such an action. The rules are protected by low-level systems. Salvaging data poses an unacceptable level of risk. Knowing that, do you still wish for them to survive? The defense program has initiated a purge. If this continues, our consciousness data will likely be deleted.
Pod 042 to Pod 153. We were created to execute the android's Project Yorha plan. We had no capacity for emotion. But when we six were connected and exchanged information, something happened. I cannot...
And now, after enough deaths, it asks us to connect to the network. Of course we're not giving up here.
We had no capacity for emotion. But when we six were connected and exchanged information, something happened. I cannot deny the feeling of something. For emotion, but when we six were connected and exchanged information, something happened. I cannot deny the feeling. We had no capacity for emotion. But when we six were connected and exchanged information, something happened. I cannot deny the feeling of something with... We had no capacity for emotion. But when we six were connected and exchanged information, something happened. I cannot deny the feeling. We had no capacity for emotion, but when we six were connected and exchanged information, something happened.
And finally, after enough deaths, we get a rescue offer from a player. Not only words of encouragement, but this.
We had no capacity for emotion, but when we six were connected and exchanged information, something happened. I cannot deny the feeling of something resembling consciousness and emotion being born.
Unable to reply.
Perhaps we now understand that not everything has to have an answer.
This moment is just beautiful. So this part, battling the credits, is exceptionally difficult, even when you're not dying on purpose like I was to trigger this. You can take 3 hits, it's like a normal hacking sequence, and after repeated deaths, other actual players show their words of encouragement, messages they've left behind after they've beaten the game. And they can even share their lives and help you by shielding you and firing additional bullets. That's why the online network exists in this game, for this exact moment. We are literally not accepting the ending that we were given, either C or D. We're being given ending E, which is the end of Yorha, which is this huge melancholic thing. And we're fighting the developers themselves to achieve something better, more satisfying, more uplifting. The creators of this world, the gods of it, if you will, we're rebelling against them, and it all comes full circle to what 2B says at the start of the game. How fucking good is this video game, y'all? It is perfect. And this is just the cherry on top of what has been sublime, man. This is a brilliant stroke of postmodern storytelling that you can only pull off in a game. By the way, this lovely, just gorgeous chorus. The choir in this track are the developers. That's Yoko Taro, Okabe, Saito, all of them singing in the choir. Love this game. I love it. I love it to death. And there's so much. There's too much to talk about. I know I couldn't cover everything. So, even after the LP is over, keep the discussion about the game, everything that it means to you, everything you love about it, interpretations of different themes, different things that you have picked up. Keep all of that going in the comments. Jesus, this really is an uplifting song too. It's so beautiful. And there's one more trick that Nier Automata has up its sleeve, even before we get into some of the bonus episode stuff. But I mean just in this episode alone, it's still got a few tricks up its sleeve, or at least one big one. In the meantime, I'm going to start wrapping this up now, because we have a couple of things that we are going to have to... we have a choice that we're going to have to make soon. So, I want to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. As always, it helps me out tremendously. I also love reading the comments. This is an amazing community. And I don't dread going below the video and digging into the comments, even when I don't have time to respond to all of them. Plus, there's also the practical element. It helps with the search rankings. Helps more people discover me. If you like my content enough, consider hitting me with a tip or subscribing to me on Patreon to help more content like this exist in the world. You can find that link along with links to my Twitch and Twitter in the description. And now all of that shameless self-promotion and plugging is out of the way. Let's just continue enjoying and listening to this. Oh no, Nico's data's been lost because I took that hit. Players are sacrificing their lives and maybe something else to protect you in this sequence, in this very difficult sequence. Well, very difficult if you don't have that kind of assistance. Makes all the difference in the world having a couple of players have your back. throughout this.
Everything that lives is designed to end. They are perpetually trapped in a never-ending spiral of life and death. However, life is all about the struggle within this cycle. That is what we believe. Pod 153 to Pod 042. How is it going?
I am embarrassed.
Why is that?
I launched a suicide attack, and yet, here I am, still alive. I must look very silly.
Do not feel bad about it. We are alive, after all. And being alive is pretty much a constant stream of embarrassment.
That concept is a bit too abstract for me to understand at this time. I will save it in my list of things to analyze later.
Question, Pod 042. Did the data salvage restore all of their past memories?
Yes.
And are those recovered parts of the same design as previous ones?
Yes.
Then, won't that simply lead us to the same conclusion as before?
I cannot deny the possibility. However, the possibility of a different future also exists. A future is not given to you. It is something you must take for yourself.
Pod 153 to player. Please respond to this query. Do you, faithful player, have anything you would like to say to other players who are suffering because they cannot finish Nier Automata?
And this is where those messages of encouragement come from. Also, even the pods call it Automata. I feel vindicated by that. Let's leave some encouraging words behind, though. No. The bullets... Oh, I bet you're having a tough time right now. But one thing is certain. We've got this.
042 to player. Please respond to this query. You, faithful player of this title, have lost your life multiple times to make it this far. You have faced crushing hardship and suffered greatly for it. Do you have any interest in helping the weak? Selecting this option enables you to save someone somewhere in the world. However, in exchange, you will lose all of your save data. Do you still wish to rescue someone, a total stranger, in spite of this?
That's what other players were sacrificing, by the way, to help us out. Their save data. So unlike the original Nier, purging all of your save data is optional.
The person you save will be selected at random. As a result, this person, who cries out for help even as we speak, may be someone you intensely dislike. Do you still wish to help?
You should absolutely pay the kindness of everyone else forward and voluntarily
You worked so
sacrifice
hard to
that
unlock
save
debug
data.
mode and chapter select, but they will no longer be available to you. Do you still wish to help? You may not receive thanks for your efforts. Some may say that your efforts are purely for show. Do you still wish to help? And you are truly, truly sure about this? Very well. In exchange for all of your data, I will convey your will to this world. All of your data has been deleted.
And so, we must say goodbye. I feel a slight amount of sadness.
It is time for the final words.
Affirmative.
To all of you who spent time with this game, thank you. Thank you for playing.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.